This film, in many ways, made for the perfect epilogue, but only for Jesse Pinkman. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unanswered questions in El Camino. For this list, we're looking at some of the major questions that fans still have about the world of Breaking Bad following the release of El Camino. We'll be including new questions that were specifically raised by this 2019 Netflix original movie, as well as more general ones that we still have left over from the core series.
If there's any questions I can answer, just let me know.
As always, a spoiler alert is now in effect. Number 10. What Badger and Skinny Pete do now. Jesse's slacker best buds don't get a ton of screen time in this film, but as usual, they make a fairly big impression with the time they do have. Last we'd seen them, Badger and Skinny Pete were still committing minor crimes and doing odd jobs for Walter White. When we catch up with the not-so-dynamic duo, it's clear that not much has changed. They're just chilling out playing video games, trading insults back and forth in a good-natured manner.
You couldn't drive a 2-button elevator.
You couldn't drive Miss Daisy.
Though they provide some of the film's biggest laughs and play a crucial role in helping Jesse on his quest for a new life, we wish we had a clearer picture of how they spend their days. Number 9. The fate of Ted Beneke. Walter White might have been the criminal mastermind in Breaking Bad, but he wasn't the only seemingly average citizen breaking the law. In Season 2, we learned that Skylar's boss at Beneke Fabricators, Ted, was committing fraud to keep the company from going under.
You got me.
It was a wild ride for old Teddy Boy, and his reckless ways ultimately landed him in the hospital with a severe neck injury. Did he ever recover? Did he learn to be better with money? We may never know. But he's not the only character whose fate El Camino refused to reveal. The end result of Donald Margolis' suicide attempt remains a mystery, and we still have no clue if Huel ever left that safe house. Number 8. The state of the drug trade. Let's recap, shall we? While Breaking Bad told the epic story of the rise and fall of Walter White, also known as Heisenberg, a number of criminal organizations and drug dealers got taken down along the way. Most notable among them are Tuco, Gus Fring, and the white supremacists. Following the massacre of the latter crew in the series finale, the state of New Mexico seemingly ran out of major players. Now, it's safe to say that whenever a drug kingpin is arrested or killed, someone is sure to fill the gap. We can't imagine that New Mexico simply got clean following the death of Walter White. As to who will step up to satisfy the meth needs of Albuquerque, however, is anyone's guess.
What's this I hear about blue meth still being out there?
What do you mean?
Number 7. What are Walt Jr and Holley up to now? El Camino kept its story tightly focused on the fate of Jesse Pinkman after escaping the white supremacist compound. Though this approach definitely served its central character well, many fans would have relished the opportunity to catch up with the family of Walter White. After all, Heisenberg was born from his desire to provide for his wife and children after his death. Last we saw Walt Jr., also known as Flynn, it was clear that he wanted nothing to do with his father.
Shut up! Just stop it! Stop it! I don't want anything from you!
Since El Camino picks up right after the events of Felina, it's not like much has changed, but it would have been cool to get a glimpse of his reaction to Walter's death, and what life looks like for him and his sister now. Number 6. A clearer picture of Gus Fring's backstory. With Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, creator Vince Gilligan has crafted a world populated by truly unforgettable characters.
Can I help you?
Even among steep competition, however, Gustavo Fring undeniably stands out as one of the most unique and compelling players. In Season 4, we learned that the enigmatic businessman and covert drug lord is a Chilean national with links to the Pinochet government, who immigrated to the United States in 1989. But as for documentation or physical evidence of this past, it's essentially non-existent. As such, his backstory remains among the most enduring mysteries of this television universe. El Camino offers no answers, but there's still time for Better Call Saul to peel back the layers.
I can't allow you to kill Hector. However, I am not completely unsympathetic to your sense of justice.
Number 5. What exactly happened with Walt and Gray Matter? Early on in the series, we learned that before he became a humble high school chemistry teacher, Walter White was living up to his potential as a founding partner of Gray Matter Technologies with his friend Elliot Schwartz. In the flashbacks to this time, Walt is a very different man. He seems genuinely happy and full of life.
What? You can't have hemoglobin without iron.
Apparently it don't take much.
Oh, damn. Go figure.
Walt was dating his lab assistant at the time, Gretchen, but she would go on to marry his partner Elliot after Walt left the company. In 2016, creator Vince Gilligan revealed that Walt broke things off with Gretchen because he felt inferior to her. But we'd still like to see exactly how things played out. Specifically, the family vacation he went on with her that ended the relationship.
As I said,
I will clear this up.
Number 4. What Brock's life looks like now. As Jesse Pinkman learns the hard way, you can't lead a life of crime and guarantee the safety of the people you care about. After losing his girlfriend Jane to a drug overdose, with a little help from Walter White of course, Pinkman eventually found love again with Andrea Cantillo. Unfortunately, their relationship ends in tragedy when, despite them having already broken up, she's killed by the white supremacists as a show of force.
Brock, huh? It's a cool name.
Since Andrea was a single mother, this effectively orphaned her young son Brock, with whom Jesse had grown close. Brock is referenced in the film, but we never actually see the young boy, or get a clear idea of what his life looks like now.
Say bye, Jesse. Bye, Jesse.
Number 3. Where Walt's money wound up. Before his death, Walt took measures to make sure that Walt Jr and Holley would be taken care of.
That is $9,720,000.
But given that his money was ill-gotten, there are many ways for the arrangements to have gone sideways, and so we would have liked to see them get the money from the trust fund set up by the Schwartzes. More importantly, however, we really want to know what happened to the large fortune that was taken from him by Jack, the leader of the white supremacists.
You want your money, right? Huh? You wanna know where it is?
When attempting to bargain for his life, Jack teases the location of the millions of dollars they've hidden away. Unfortunately, Jack takes the info to his grave, which is really too bad as Jesse could have used it in El Camino. Number 2. What Saul's up to. Thanks to the spin-off prequel series that Saul Goodman received, fans have gotten to know the criminally inclined lawyer quite well.
What do you think you're doing?
I took your advice. I'm blowing off steam.
Now that we've had multiple seasons of Saul-centric stories, however, his fate at the end of Breaking Bad has gained even more significance.
Everything good?
Define good.
Like Walt and Jesse, he sought the services of Ed Galbraith to help him go into hiding. Last we saw him, Saul was headed for Nebraska. But if we've learned anything from his prequel series, it's that Saul seems incapable of keeping his nose clean. Is he really living the quiet life? We doubt it, but sadly, El Camino didn't give us the chance to catch up with him. Here's hoping that Better Call Saul eventually gives us a glimpse into his future. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The contents of Jesse's letter to Brock. Focusing almost exclusively on Jesse's life, El Camino left many a stone unturned in terms of lingering questions from the series. Be that as it may, it also added a new mystery to Vince Gilligan's television universe in the form of a letter.
Anything else?
When Jesse finally makes it to Alaska, he hands Ed Galbraith an envelope. The latter reads its contents, presumably to make sure that it doesn't incriminate him or reveal Jesse's whereabouts. Though we don't see the letter itself, we do see that it's addressed to Brock Cantillo. Is it a simple apology? Might Jesse be offering to take care of Brock financially in the future to assuage his guilt? The letter clearly means a lot to Jesse, but for now, all we can do is guess. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.